Hi, I'm Susie Sunflower, and this is one of my favorite plants in my landscape, Orange Globe Mallow. Orange Globe Mallow is one of my favorite plants. I love it because of the unique orange flower color you don't see in a lot of other perennial plants in the garden. And it also has a really pretty silvery gray foliage. This is one of our native plants for Central Oregon, so it's low water use and really easy to grow. Comes back every year, and I've seen very little pest or insect problems on this plant. And that's why I love Orange Globe Mallow.
Hi, I'm Rocky Road. The plant I like is called Hardy Ice Plant Fire Spinner. This plant is an easy to grow, low maintenance ground cover. It's bee friendly, deer resistant, and attracts hummingbirds. The orange, red, and lavender tri-colored flowers bloom from early spring to early to mid-summer. When the sun shines on the flowers, they seem to be spinning. It likes full sun and is a great plant for a rock garden.
Hi, I'm Wildflower Annie, and I like plants that bring in pollinators. One of my favorite plants for this is the California poppy. With this plant, there can be a succession of blooms from early spring to late fall. It's a drought-tolerant annual that self-sows, so it's really good in the natural or wildflower garden. Pollinators, especially native bees, just love this plant.
Hello, Winston O. Boogie here. Another favorite of mine is purple sage. Purple sage is a native perennial that grows on the high desert, flowering here in early June. Flowers are very attractive to pollinators, particularly native bees. It's not browsed by deer, and it would fit in good as an accent plant in any landscape. Hello, Bud Holly here. I'd like to share with you another favorite of mine, buckwheat. Buckwheat is native to the Basin Range ecosystem, and there are many species that can be found throughout the Great Basin area. It's drought tolerant. As you can see, it flowers profusely in early June. Flowers remain for a few weeks, quite some time, and very desirable for pollinators. Good morning, Winston O. Boogie here. I'd like to introduce you to one of my favorite native shrubs, woods rose. As you can see, woods rose provides blossoms here in early June, very desirable for pollinators, utilized by songbirds, deer, and other wildlife. It's a cane-bearing shrub that spreads by runners and ideal for that wild area in your landscape.
This is a purple ice plant growing here in my patio. It's a volunteer that sprang up between two pavers on my patio, and I've never done anything to cultivate it, and in fact I've never cared for it in any way. I've never even watered it, and yet it has come back year after year.
Hi, my name is Natalie and I am a Central Oregon master gardener. My favorite tool in the garden is the soil thermometer. Using a soil thermometer will help you successfully germinate the seed directly sown into the garden. Seeds do need a minimum soil temperature to successfully germinate. What is that temperature? We have a handy little guide here in Central Oregon that will give you optimum and minimum soil temperature for your vegetables. Please look up the growing vegetable in Central Oregon.
Hi, this is Be Happy. I'd like to share some pictures and photos of my service berry, also called Saskatoon Berries, which are native to Ottawa. I've had these for 6 years, and this is the first year the berries are producing. And what's so exciting is they're red now, but when they're ripe, I'm trying to find a ripe one here. They're dark blue, and they look a lot like a blueberry. They're not a cherry, they don't have the pit in them, but the robins do like them. And I just so happen to have a robin nest up there right close by, and my robins are making babies right now, but so I haven't seen any robins eating them, but I did see some on a YouTube where they were just getting after them. So I bet when they're riper, we'll have more robins eating them.
Hey, I'm Betty B, and I'm buzzing around to tell you about one of my favorite plants right here. See, here's some of my friends. This plant is catnip, and the botanical name is Nepeta racemosa. And the reason I love this plant is it's a perennial. It comes back year after year, and it's very low maintenance. That's another good thing. It can get to be about 30 inches tall and about 30 inches wide. Another good thing is it's drought tolerant, especially important now. And as you can see, it attracts bees like me, but also hummingbirds and butterflies like it too. It flowers in the late spring, and it keeps flowering until the fall, so it's really a long-lasting plant. It attracts lots of pollinators, and it repeat blooms. So in my mind, it's one of the best plants out there. Thank you.
Good morning. This is the Bigfoot gardener. My favorite plant is a perennial. It's the blue flax, and it's a native. The deer don't eat it, and the rabbits don't eat it, which is a big bonus. It likes low water, sandy soils, and full sun. In the afternoon, the flowers will close up, but every morning there's this happy, joyful blooms of periwinkle blue. Try it. It's really lovely.
Hello, my name is Patricia. I'm an OSU Master Garden volunteer, and this is Catmint. Catmint thrives in full sun. It can also be grown in part shade. It's drought tolerant, so it can be used in rock gardens and borders, and most varieties grow 1 foot to 2 feet high and about 1 to 3 feet wide. Catmint blooms late spring to early summer. Although deadheading isn't necessary, it will encourage continuous bloom. The reason I like having catmint in my garden is it's drought tolerant, it's not aggressive or invasive, it attracts many beneficial insects, including native bees.
Hi, I'm a Master Gardener volunteer. One of my favorite plants here in Central Oregon is the Indian blanket flower. Its name comes from Native American folklore, and as you can see, its blooms are a beautiful blend of yellow, orange, and red, woven together like an Indian blanket. When the blooms appear, I know summer has finally made it to Central Oregon. These plants love the sun and are really drought tolerant, which makes them a good choice for Central Oregon gardens. And if you deadhead them, you will find that they bloom all summer long.
My name is Jan, and I'm a Central Oregon Master Gardener, and I wanted to tell you about one of my favorite plants for the landscape, the Texas Red Yucca. As you can see, it is growing here among some more common yuccas, and it looks very similar. It has a central flower stalk with blossoms, but the key reason that I love this plant is that the blossoms are red. It's unusual and I think very striking and beautiful. Good morning, I'm Jan and I'm a Central Oregon Master Gardener, and this is one of my favorite plants for Central Oregon, the lavender. It's not only fragrant but beautiful, and while a lot of people use it in their landscapes because it requires little care and it looks gorgeous and it's deer resistant, but I also use it in my vegetable garden because it attracts pollinators like crazy.
I'm Grandma Nona, a Central Oregon Master Gardener volunteer. The newest addition to my garden is the Egyptian walking onion. Bulbils at the top get heavy, bend the stalks to the ground and fall off, self-planting every year. Plant in full sun in the fall, mulch over the winter, fertilize in the spring, water to keep the soil moist, and harvest throughout the summer. Use the tender shoots as green onions or the tasty bulbils in a salad or a sauté. Buon appetito!
Hi, I'm Chris, and I've got a bad back, so I'm always looking for gardening tools that make it easier for me. One tool I'd like to highly recommend is a homie. A homie is a traditional Korean gardening hoe. I use it for lots of different things, like heavy weeding, just plain digging, gardening, planting holes, and even for lightweight digging rows for seeding. If you'd like to learn more or get one, do an internet search.
Hi, I'm Master Gardener Tony, and I'd like to talk about chokecherry today. Chokecherry is a shrub to about 15 feet or a tree to about 30 to 40. It's a native of Oregon and it has large clusters of white flowers in the spring. It's also a great habitat tree or shrub for the western tiger swallowtail. Here's a swallowtail egg and first or early instar larvae. And here, you see that? Is a much more mature larvae of the western tiger swallowtail.
My name is Garden Girl Diane. My favorite plant is Lemony lace elderberry. This plant gets 3 to 5 feet tall in maturity. This is a young plant, takes average water usage. It flowers in the spring, but its really best feature is its foliage. It is my favorite because of its fine lacy texture, its lemony lime color, and it is deer resistant.
I'd like to wrap up this garden picks collection with one of my favorite perennials for Central Oregon. This plant's called Agastaki. This particular cultivar is Apache Sunset. Agastaki, also known as Hummingbird Mint, has great flowers late in the season. This one's blooming in August here in Central Oregon. You can see it has a tubular shaped flower that the hummingbirds love. It's got silvery green-gray foliage, so kind of a feathery appearance, and just a great pick-me-up in the garden. If you need a break, you go out, you can rub the foliage, and it has a great fragrance to it. Agastaki is drought tolerant, so a low water use plant for this region. There are several different cultivars to choose from with flower colors ranging from whites to purples to pinks and even golden yellow. Select the most cold-hardy varieties for Central Oregon. Hummingbird Mint is a great addition to any landscape here in Central Oregon. Thank you for joining us, and check out these links for some great local gardening information from the OSU Extension Service.